reporting live from the liquor store. How's everybody doing this morning, man? It's Sunday. It's really the Sabbath, but we ain't gonna be too nefarious on a holy day. But I will open the doors to the liquor store so y'all can come in and patronize with your boy, man. So y'all tap in with me, man. If you don't want to get too drunk today, I can serve y'all some communion wine, but we will still be getting a little tipsy on that Dallas Cowboy content this morning, man. So I see there's some folks already in the liquor store with me right now. So, hey, Miss Marquetta, I see you. Miss So Over It, thank you for the love and support. My guy, Double R, part of the Wrench Gang, and tapped in with me already, man. Salute to you. Michael Itree, Mr. Volcano Action, and tapped in with me. Salute to you. My brother Jameson Taylor and tapped in with me. Salute to you, man. Thank you for the love and the support, my guy. Truly appreciate you. Miss Regina Green and tapped in with me. Salute to you. Good morning to you. Good morning. Joe said, "What up, Henny?" He's sharing the video. And that's what's up, man. I appreciate you for your support, my guy. Salute to you. Good morning to you too, Jameson. So, man, hey, this is gonna be a quick show because I was MIA yesterday. I had a family reunion to go to, as I let y'all know. So I went back home to Arkansas, had a good time, saw my people, hung out for a while, and then drove back to the Texas the same day. So I was a little tired when I got back in last night. So I couldn't come and give y'all no content then, but I'm back today. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about some off-season reports. He said, "Sorry, Henny, I can't slap no Eagles on Sunday. I just came back from church." Hey, man. Hey, if you put some holy water on your hands, and then you slap them, that might be considered the same. Now I ain't gonna even play like that. I ain't gonna play like that. But I understand if you do not want to choose violence on a Sunday, I get it, my brother. I get it. And as you can see, the background music is still down. I do not know what's going on with Restream. I'm gonna have to reach out to hey, top of the morning to you too, my brother. Grand Rising. Thank you for tapping in with me, the original people. Yeah, man. So we shall see, where this conversation takes us. So, we're going to talk about some off-season news and updates, some rumors. We're going to talk about, really what I wanted to start between now and training camp, because as you do know, this is going to be the time frame, during training camp and preseason where position battles happen. So, really, I'm going to start a series of podcasts where we talk about the overall position groups. And I decided I wanted to start with the head of the snake in regards to the quarterback room. So we're going to talk about the quarterback position room. We're not going to just talk about Dak Prescott. We're going to talk about Dak and, his backups. We're going to talk about Cooper Rush. We'll talk about Will Greer. We'll talk about how we feel with them as a unit, today. And then of course I'll also give y'all raffle updates and all the other good stuff. Yo, what's up with you though? Keystone Cowboy and tapped in with me, man. Salute to you. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of all this, man, right? It takes more than bread to keep the poor man fed. I need y'all to do a couple things for me, please. I need y'all to hit that like button, right? Hit that like button and manipulate this algorithm with me. The more likes on this video, the more people that will eventually find their way into the liquor store. I need you to hit that share button for me, right? If you hit that share button, you'll let everybody and their mama know the liquor store is open for business. I don't know how it works where y'all at in the world, but in Texas right now, in Arkansas right now, the liquor stores are closed. So, I got a special liquor store. I got a liquor store that opens up on Sunday. Right, so listen, hit the share button. You let everybody know that the liquor store is open, is operational. I can get their orders in. I know a bunch of y'all to order some Eagles tears and some cow burritos, all the other good stuff. So and as my brother pointed out, he said it is Sunday. He do not want to feel like he's going to hell for slapping the shit out of an Eagles fan. So I might just let you get a discount just for showing up this morning. But if you want to slap an Eagles fan for good measure, you certainly can. And then remember, last but not least, we are still in the midst of this. We're doing a ticket raffle, $10 per entry, to give out tickets, to give out a PlayStation 4 or a jersey. And there will be 3 winners to this raffle. So the first place winner will get a ticket with a seat attached to it. Hold on, this is very important. Johnny Herrera said he has already reserved his hotel for Oxnard, California. California. So that's good, man. What's good with you, my guy? Thank you for tapping in and showing love. I salute you, and I'm glad you'll be able to get out the training camp. So let's see. So in regards to this raffle, 3 different prizes. The big prize is going to be the Dallas Cowboy home game ticket to see them beat the hell out of the Philadelphia Eagles, and that one has a seat attached to it. So you'll be assigned whatever seat to whatever row. You'll be able to go out there, take a seat, sit back, relax. You only got to stand up when the defense is on third down. You ain't got to, you know, exert too much energy. You just gonna be in there relaxing. You can jump up and down, when you feel like it. What's up with you, Michael Autry? Salute to you. Thank you for spinning the block and coming back into the liquor store, man. I saw you had commented earlier, so I'm glad you were able to make it in, man. So yeah, so that's the grand prize. You get a seat, you get to relax, do whatever you want to do at the game. Second place winner is going to get a ticket to the same game for general admission and standing room area. So you can still slide in there, you can still get your drinks, you can still eat your cowboy burgers or the specials that they have down there at the concession stand. They usually got some good stuff. You still be able to rock out and enjoy the game. And then the third place winner, since you won't get a ticket, you will either get a PlayStation 4 or a Dallas Cowboy jersey of your choice. So if you can't go to the game, you can play at the Dallas Cowboys or Madden or something, or you can get your favorite player's jersey. So that is what it is. That's the raffle ticket. That's the ticket raffle so far. Three different prizes. It's a $10 per entry, and we're going to be collecting entries all the way up till August the 1st. So you got a little bit under a month right now. Right, today's the 2nd. You got a little bit under a month to get those entries in. And also salute to my guy Justin Kitchen spinning the block. He said, "What's good, Cowboys Nation? 10 Sundays till kickoff, boys. Let's go this year. This the year." I feel that, man. I feel that. And while we're on the subject, I'm gonna run through this very quickly before we get into the content. I'm gonna give y'all your updates on the raffle, just because I know some people had hit me and were curious. So I'm gonna give y'all your updates on the current standings of the raffle, and then we're gonna talk about this content, man. Okay, that's what we all here for. So real quick, Mickey got 9 entries. My brother Dwayne Brown got 11 entries. It's Too Easy has 4 entries. My brother Brian Kite has a half an entry, so if he sends $5, he'll get a full one. Hoodlum has an entry. Sharon Bell has an entry. My guy DC for Life Texas has 9 entries, so salute to him wherever he at in the world right now. Neil has 11 entries. The Lunatic has 1. Donald Holmes has 4. Let's see who else. Tawan has 3. Crystal has 1. Mike DC4L has 1. Josie Guetes has 1. King G, if you're out there, you got 3. Michael Autry, I see you in the chat box. You got 3 of them as well. So you got 3 entries. Salute to you. VA Roster X got 17 entries. Big Benny Rich has an entry. My brother Justin Kitchen has 3 entries. Sugar Daddy 1 has an entry. Damn Dizzle has an entry. Big Dal has an entry. JJ the Mime got 2. Oh, Wanda has 1. Salter has 2. S.A. Richburg has 15. Mucho Boomin has 2. David Surreals has 2. Dwayne Morris has 2.5. He actually $5 away from having 3. Triple D has an entry. Melvin Brownlee has 4. J Money got 2. So Over It has 2. Big Tex has 1. Regina Green has 1. Choctaw has 1. Jose Banks has 2. The Original People, my brother, you got 3 of them. NSZ has 1. Donna got 2. Reggie with 3. Kevin Richards with 2. Matt Leslie with 3. Freight Train got 2. Common Sense got 2. and Q Dog has 1.5. So you're $5 away from another one. So, I just wanted to go ahead and get the raffle updates out of the way so we can get right into the content. So, that's where everybody stands. If you want to improve your odds of winning the jersey, I keep saying the jersey. If you want to improve your odds of winning the tickets, right? If you want to improve your odds of winning the tickets, hit the Cash App. It's $Hennythemoor. Hit the super chats, hit the super stickers, and you got all the way until August the 1st to get your entries in. So now that that's out of the way, right? We done shouted everybody out in the chat box. I done did my whole spiel. I done gave you raffle updates. Now that all that is out the way, let's actually talk some football, some roster stuff, roster movement, and news. Let's get into it. He said, is landlord okay? Landlord is on vacation. He just hasn't announced it. But landlord is fine. He's living his best life. I talked to him recently. He is good. But yeah, landlord had to get a vacation in real quick before training camp started. So, but he is good though, my guy. So let's talk about this. And this is really what, triggered this train of thought. So this is from Michael Gilkin, right? As you know, Sports Insider. Definitely should follow him, give him a look if you are not familiar with his posts or content or anything like that. And he actually said something that I've been telling y'all for a couple weeks now. The Cowboys have 2 empty roster spots. They currently have 88 players under contract. They need 90, by the time training camp starts. So they have under a month. They have only like 3 weeks or so to sign 2 players. So in at least 3 weeks' time, the Dallas Cowboys are going to sign 2 NFL players, right, to their roster to bring into training camps because they need a complete 90-man roster to go into training camp. And he said today, what was yesterday on the 1st, that was the conclusion of the USFL season, right? And it opens the avenue to accrue talent, meaning now that the USFL season is over, those players will be able to get signed. Those players will be able to get a negotiation, negotiate contracts, do all the other things. He said, yeah, landlord trapping on the road. Hey, that boy over the road trapping, man. He said, linebacker Deion Jones. I wouldn't be opposed to Deion Jones either. Johnny Herrera says kicker. We'll talk about that too. He said, last summer, USFL MVP Cavante Turpin became a Dallas Cowboy, right? We signed Cavante Turpin. He was the MVP of that particular league. And we all know that Cavante Turpin actually blossomed into a Pro Bowl level returner, for the Dallas Cowboys. So, you had a great return of investment for what you spent to get Cavante Turpin. You did not give him a super massive contract, and he still turned into a Pro Bowler for you at his position. You're even talking about using him and utilizing his speed as a key component to your offense this year. So, last time the Dallas Cowboys picked up a USFL player and they made the active roster, it paid dividends for the Dallas Cowboys, as you see with Cavante Turpin. So the team has monitored that league closely, including at kicker. Luis Aguilar, among options. God forgive me, I'm not trying to butcher the man's name, but I'm gonna just say Aguilar. Right. So that's where it stands right now. They are still looking to add at least 2 players. That's something that I touched on in a liquor store a couple of times, knowing, the Dallas Cowboys. And listen, keep your notifications on. It may not be a person that you're familiar with. They may not be a game changer at all, but keep your notifications on, because in between now and the start of training camp, which is only like 3 weeks away, the Dallas Cowboys will sign 2 players. Who those 2 players are remains to be seen. But Like they said, they were taking a look at kicker. They were there's I spoke about maybe quarterback. Y'all spoke about maybe picking up a veteran linebacker. But the Dallas Cowboys have options. We know that they need to sign at least two players. But let's talk about it. First and foremost, it's actually going to be a segue because I don't know this Louis Aguilar boy. I don't know this kicker. So what I will do real quick is researching while we're all online together and see how he did last year. All right, nobody wanted to hear no damn commercial. Matter of fact, I hope that commercial does not hit me with a copyright because ain't nobody trying to hear no commercials. They try to do me wrong right there. But I'm pulling this up just so I can share this little article with y'all about this Aguilar boy. So let's see. Yeah, my brother said check the Carfax, so I'm gonna do just that. So this is actually an interesting article. They said he tied an all time record. So it says USFL kicker Luis Aguilar ties pro football record with 8 makes, including a game winner. He said it has not hit him yet. So Aguilar was a standout kicker at Northern Arizona before he continued his football dream with the Philadelphia Stars. Okay. So this is the article. The Philadelphia Stars called on Luis Aguilar when they needed him the most, and he delivered in historic fashion in the team's Week 5 win over the New Jersey Generals in the USFL. Aguilar nailed the game-winning 55-yard field goal to give the Stars a 24-21 win, and in doing so, he tied a professional football record with 8 made field goals in a single game. He hit from 22, 42, 56, 36, 27, 51, 49, and 55. So judging by that, right, just judging by that in general, he does not have much of an issue with range. If you're making 56-yard kicks and 55-yard kicks, you have an NFL size leg. Now, I don't actually know how the goalposts are in the USFL. I don't know if they're wider or skinnier or, this, that, or the third. But, anybody that makes 8 kicks, in a professional game, even if it's not the NFL, you got my attention. He could have did this in the CFL. He could have did this in the Canadian Football League, and I would have been intrigued by the fact he was able to do this. After nailed, after Aguilar nailed the game-winning 55-yard field goal to give the Stars a 24-21 win, and yeah, okay. That's insane. Aguilar told Fox News Digital, because remember, he tied Rob Aronis, who did it for the Tennessee Titans a while ago. So he said that's insane. He told Fox News Digital on Tuesday. When asked what it felt like knowing he was up there with Baronis and some of the all-time greats, like I knew in the back of my head, I knew about that record for the 8 for 8, but in the game, I didn't really think about it. I was more worried about the next kick. And we were rolling. It didn't feel like 8 field goals. We were just kind of rolling and going out there and doing our same routine we do all the time. It was after the game when they were like, "You just tied a pro football record." And congrats to him, man. Congratulations on him tying that record, man. I'm glad for the boy. It hasn't hit me yet. And my coach called me yesterday and he's like, I don't think it's hit you, but you know what you did. And I'm like, no, it still feels surreal. It's been all good. I told myself I was going to put it to rest yesterday, but this is the only exception. All right. His 56 yarder and his 55 yarder, were two of the longest makes of the entire season up to that point. More importantly, for Philadelphia, Aguilar hit the game winner that put them at 2-3 on the season. So 2 wins, 3 losses. And he was named the special teams player of the week. Each of the 4 teams in the North Division have a 2-3 record at the midway point of the year. Philadelphia is looking to get back to the divisional championship game after finishing as the runner-up during the inaugural season. He was mobbed by his Stars teammates once the kick went through the uprights at Ford Field. It was such a surreal experience. It's like a kicker's dream to hit those game winners because we don't get many opportunities like that. There's only so many games to have that opportunity and come in clutch for your team. It's something I'll tell my kids about in 20 years. Aguilar was a kicker for Northern Arizona before he got his chance to join the Stars and continue his dream. Notable college football expert Phil Steele named him as the preseason All-American second team and his preseason All-Big Sky Conference first team in 2021. He was also a 2021 Spring Associated Press first team All-American. He was 9 for 17 in 2021 and 9 for 10 in 2020 on field goals before his collegiate career was over. That was my part-time job that allowed me to kind of keep training and staying on top of things kicking wise and lifting wise. But it's cool because they have this newsletter that comes out every week and they always throw it in the newsletter like Lewis is playing this Saturday or this Sunday, so all the employees can tune in and watch the game. I'm expecting to still go back there after this season and keep working there while I train and stuff. If Aguilar keeps up his kicking prowess, he could be among the USFL players who get a shot at making an NFL roster in training camp. The USFL saw 60 players from the 2022 season sign NFL contracts. Wide receiver and returner Cavante Turpin and kicker Taylor Bertolet was among them. Turpin was named the Turpin was named to the Pro Bowl for his play on special teams. Burlot made 3 field goals for the Chargers in his NFL debut. All right, cool. So it sounds like if he does get in there, he would be. It's not. It would sound like if he does get in there, he does get picked up. He had a pretty decent track record in kicking in the pros. I know it being only the USFL. And the Chargers picked up a kicker from the USFL last year, and he made 3 kicks for him in his first game with the Chargers. Yo, Mickey, what's up with you? I see you still craving that Cowboys content. I'm glad you slid in here on a good old Sunday. Thank you for tapping in and showing love. Did not even see you slide in. I was busy reading that article. But yeah, so that's the kid. So and listen, a record is a record, no matter where you set it at. He tied a record, for most kicks in a game without a miss. He went 8 for 8. Hasn't been done in a very long time. He was able to do it. So I would be interested. So and listen, I still want Robbie Gold. So the Dallas Cowboys wanted to bring in 2. Hey, I appreciate that. He said, anytime, Henny, you one of my biggest inspos. Real talk. Hey, that's love right there, Mickey. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It means a lot. But real talk, man. So I still want that boy Robbie Gold because of his track record of kicking in the postseason. But you got two roster spots. And the Dallas Cowboys said they were good at every other position and just wanted to bring in two kickers, and let them, fight it out to be the starting kicker. I don't care because I saw too big of a disaster last postseason and what Brett Maher put on tape for me to be comfortable, with an unproven kicker. So yeah, bring in Robbie Gold, bring in Louis Aguilar, bring in whoever you need to bring in to make the fan base, feel confident in our kicking game. There's gonna be plenty. There's gonna be plenty of games that are gonna come down to winning on a walk-off field goal. All right, there's gonna be plenty of games that are gonna come down to that. There's gonna be plenty of games that could be won or lost if you miss an extra point or you shank a field goal or you do any of these other little goofy things that happen, towards the end of the season. So we shall see. We shall see. We shall really see. And hey, can't be early morning coffee without some coffee. But what are y'all thoughts? Just from taking a look at what you looked at, do you like the prospect of bringing in Louis Aguilar? Matter of fact, let's be fair. I want to see if he continued to kick like that throughout the rest of the season. So let me see if I can find his stats for the USFL. Know he got at least. I know he has at least 8 makes though, right? He has at least 8 makes. Can't really see it. What's up, Michael Autry? Oh yeah, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check her out. Matter of fact, I might as well pull it up real quick so I can make sure I subscribe to it. There you go. I just subscribed to you, Mickey. So hey, best of luck and salute to you for jumping in and starting your channel up. But yeah, I just want to subscribe to your YouTube channel. Hey, later, Jameson. Hope you get. Hey, take care, my guy. I'm gonna holler at you. All right, so let's move along. Because I can't really see his UFSL stats. All right, that's 100. I'm gonna definitely go take a look. Bet. Hey, we'll do something soon. We will do something soon. Let me know something. Hey, I appreciate that, Mickey. Flaming Hearts. Bet. Appreciate the love. Hey, good morning, Mr. Kima. Thank you for tapping in, man. Good morning to you, my guy. You know I'm gonna check it out, kinfolk. No doubt about it. So now that we talked about the prospect of adding a kicker, such as Louis God forgive me, I'm not trying to butcher this kid's name. Louis Aguilar. I'm guessing it's Aguilar. If I'm wrong, they can correct me later. Whatever. I'm not gonna be on the person jack his name up. But since we talked about the prospect of adding him, let's talk about the quarterback room in its entirety, right? Because you could think about the two open roster spots from another, from another perspective. If you are not completely sold on the depth of your quarterback room, you could pick up a kicker like Aguilar, but you could also pick up a quarterback. And I'm going to tell you, why that's a possibility. Because you can have 3 quarterbacks active now, and you get a roster spot for a third one that will not go against your 53-man roster. Now, they can only play if the first 2 quarterbacks get hurt. So, God forbid, if Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush both go out in the same game, right, they both get injured, then whoever your third quarterback is holding that reserve role can come in, and play for you, right? But we already know, the odds of the Dallas Cowboys being able to compete, without Dak Prescott, for a prolonged period of time, is not realistic. But you do always want to give yourself the best shot at winning games. So let's evaluate our overall quarterback room 1, 2, 3, because there's only like 3 guys on the active roster right now that are quarterbacks. You got Dak Prescott, you got Cooper Rush, and then you got Will Grier. So let's just get one thing out the way, because this is not going to be a deep statistical dive on Dak Prescott or anything like that. I've done plenty of those in the past. If you want one of those, you can go on the channel and find it, because I got plenty of them. Got plenty of them. But what I will say for the naysayers about Dak Prescott, he is at the bare minimum, he is a starting caliber quarterback. There are plenty of teams in the NFL that cannot say the same. There are 32 starting jobs. There are not 32 starting caliber quarterbacks. Let's get that out the way. If you believe in Pro Football Focus, he's the 10th best quarterback in the National Football League going into the season. Pro Football Focus has him ranked at number 10. They have him ranked above Tua, Matthew Stafford, Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr, Geno Smith, Jared Goff, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields, Ryan Tannehill, Russell Wilson, Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett, Brock Purdy, Jimmy Garoppolo, Bryce Young, Jordan Love, Sam Howell, Baker Mayfield, Colt McCoy, C.J. Stroud, Desmond Riddler, and Anthony Richardson. Right? The quarterbacks that got ahead of him right now, whether you agree with it or not, I'm just going by their list. Kirk, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying agree with the list. I'm just saying at the bare minimum to Pro Football Focus, if you are somebody that lives and dies by PFF, they say that Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback at bare minimum. Now, if you believe in Pro Football Network, they have him as the 6th best quarterback in the National Football League. This is Pro Football Network's power rankings. They got him, right behind Jalen Hurts. They got Jalen Hurts at 5, Dak Prescott at 6, but they do got him ahead of Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, a bunch of other, quarterbacks. So they got him as the 6th best quarterback if you listen to Pro Football Network. Regardless, you see the trend is that Dak Prescott, by these, analytical sites and football networks, is at least a top 10 quarterback. So, you could put him wherever you want to. Personally, I think he's about right. I think he's about in the top 6. You might be able to move him to the top into the top 4, top 5, right? Depending on what you're looking at. You're looking at overall body of work, things like that. You can make a real good, argument for Dak Prescott being in the top 5. But regardless of what you think about Dak Prescott personally or what he has or hasn't done, he is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now, and that means he's good enough to win a championship with. If you're a top 10 quarterback, you were good enough to win with. Because we've seen quarterbacks who are less talented win championships. Brad Johnson was never considered a top 10 quarterback. You go back and you look at some of these other guys. The quarterback for the Ravens when they won a championship, right? Both times. So you take a look at Joe Flacco. He was never considered a top 10 quarterback. He never even made a Pro Bowl selection. So you do not have to have an all-time great quarterback to win championships. But if you have a quarterback in the top 10, you do greatly increase your odds. And Dak Prescott is definitely a top 10 quarterback. Now let's talk about his backup, Cooper Rush. Right? Cooper Rush may not be the best backup in the world, but he was somebody that was, and yeah, I don't understand the love affair with Justin Herbert. Like, Justin Herbert is the quarterback that gets the most fanfare and the most love for doing absolute worst. Eastside Herald said, I put Dink and Dak at 32. I normally don't read craziness, but you did pay for that. So I appreciate you for your love, man. Eastside, you should come around more often. We miss you. We miss you trolling. Come home. You're a Dallas Cowboys fan, bro. You're a Dallas Cowboys fan, bro. So slide on in. You need to come on here more often, man. Them Texas ain't hitting on nothing like that, man. Come on home. You know who the big dogs in Texas is. But real talk though, man, like Justin Herbert does the least amount and gets the most love. He has never won a playoff game. I don't think he's ever won more than 10 games in a regular season. He's never won his division. Of course, because Patrick Mahomes win that division every year. He just was on the losing end of a playoff game where he had a 27-point lead and barfed it up. So, I don't really understand, the love with Justin Herbert. I get the physical attributes. He has one of the bigger arms in the NFL, right? They love pushing it. They love, big arm quarterbacks. He was a top pick. He was first round pick. Considered a prodigy for his physical skills. He can run a little bit. He can throw the ball real far. He's tall. So, he got all those things they look for in like the prototypical quarterback, but he does not have the production, to keep, in my opinion, keep making it into the top 5. Like, he is less accomplished than Dak Prescott. He's less accomplished than Lamar Jackson. He's less accomplished than Trevor Lawrence. He's less accomplished than, a lot of the guys on this list. Right. And I'm not saying that he does not have talent. He has all the talent in the world. But he's getting more love for his talent than he does his production, because he ain't winning a lot of games. He hasn't won a playoff game. He's last year, like he only had like 2 more passing touchdowns than Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott missed 5 games. You know what I mean? So, but hey, this is not a Justin Herbert slander post or whatever. I'm just taking it. I just wanted to show y'all some of these rankings, that Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback by most accounts. You in Pro Football Focus, a lot of people pledge by it. They say he's number 10. Pro Football Network says he's number 6. And even the worst ranking I've seen for Dak Prescott is like number 13. The worst I've seen Dak Prescott ranked is at number 13. I damn sure don't think he's the 13th best quarterback in the league. But even if he was, that would still technically be good enough to win with. Right? He's still one of the top. He's still in the top half of quarterbacks. Because when you get down to it, you look at some of these names, like Daniel Jones is not good. It's not good at all, really. And if you're the 32nd or the 16th ranked quarterback in the NFL, like you really Well, not that good. And yes, Eastside Herald. Go on YouTube, type in Craven Cowboys, and you give Mickey a subscribe. You know, it's gonna be a long road, but we're gonna try to help bolster her and get her up to 1,000 subscribers. Who PFF? PFF got Dak Prescott at number 10. PFF got him at number 10. Pro Football Network, which is the graph I'm showing, has him at number 6. Because I do want to point this out to you. Do you see these quarterbacks on here? Hey, that's love right there. That's love right there. So yeah, he said he definitely is gonna go over there and give you some love. But think about this: Dak Prescott. They talk about he only got 2 wins. All right, Dak Prescott has more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Jordan Love, all these other guys they love. Deshaun Watson only got 1 playoff win, right? Um, More playoff wins than Mac Jones. More playoff wins. He got more playoff wins than a lot of these guys. You know what I mean? So Dak Prescott is not alone. Dak Prescott is not alone, you know, in what they're saying. There are plenty of quarterbacks that people say are better than Dak Prescott. Kyler Murray, first round pick, Kyler Murray has never won a playoff game. And this is like what, year 5, year 6 for Kyler Murray? Dak Prescott won his first playoff game year 3. Have been to the playoff 2 times by his third year. That he actually has a better start to his career than Justin Herbert does. But people ain't gonna talk about that. All right, Justin Herbert, you know, has won less games, has never won his division, has no playoff wins over the first 3 years of his career. Dak Prescott was at his third season with 32-16 as a starting quarterback, you know, and had a playoff win under his belt. Right, and that was with inconsistent coaching. But you know, I'm not trying to turn this into a Dak Prescott conversation. You know, I just used only reason I even brought these graphics out is just to say that Dak Prescott is good. It's good. He's fine as our starting quarterback. Yeah, Dak Prescott has an NFL level arm. If you could put the ball in the air over 50 yards, what Dak Prescott has done, and listen, Dak Prescott completed a 50-yard pass, you know, in San Francisco when there was 10-mile-per-hour winds. So Dak Prescott has a big NFL arm. Now he does not have an ungodly arm like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes and these other guys, right? But you know, but Dak Prescott has a good arm. He has a good NFL arm. All right, so you know he can make the deep throws. He can make the deep throws. So you know, let's move along. Let's move along to the backup quarterback position, Cooper Rush. And listen, I know everybody love Coop. No, Coop came in, and I'll be honest with you, I did not think the Dallas Cowboys would be able to win a singular game with Cooper Rush this season. Because you know, when we came in here, you know, I know in hindsight the games look winnable. But you know, we had the Bengals, right? We had to play the Bengals, who had just went to a Super Bowl the year prior. You know, we had the Rams who won the Super Bowl. We had 2 divisional rivals, you know, in Washington and the Giants. Excuse me. Right. So those were not really easy games. But, you know, we were able to play complimentary football and win 4 of them. We were able to beat the Bengals. We were able to dominate the Rams. We were able, you know, to go out there and beat Washington and beat the Giants. We ran into a buzzsaw against the Philadelphia Eagles because they were a better They really got to have better personnel last year. Let's just keep it real. I know I hate the Eagles, but they had better personnel than we did last year. We brought in a backup quarterback. We had Noah Brown as the number 2. We did not have T.Y. Hilton on that team at that point. They led the league in sacks. You know, so they had better personnel. They had a better wide receiving core. You know, better tight ends. When we played them the first time, they had the better quarterback. So they had better personnel when we played them with Cooper Rush. So I understand why we lost to him, why we lost that game. But in terms of comfortability, Cooper Rush has earned the right to at least compete for his job. He has earned the right to at least continue to compete for their backup quarterback position. I know his overall numbers were not great. He completed under 60% of his passes. He was one of the quarterbacks with the highest turnover worthy play rate in the NFL last year when he played. So he was putting the ball in harm's way. We know, especially in the game, in like the Washington game, he had multiple interceptions that were overturned by penalty. Right, he threw the ball, right to a defensive player in the middle of the field. But because there was a holding on the other side of the field, because there was a defensive holding on the other side of the field, it got negated. We seen him get away with murder, in high definition. So he has his warts. But said, when can we do a podcast? I don't know, Kinfo. I'm gonna do I'm gonna do my Carfax on you. I'm gonna see what you're talking about. I'm gonna go to your YouTube page and check you out. And if I like what I see, I will reach out. You a Cowboy fan? Do you do a podcast for a different team? Let me know in the chat box what I'm getting myself into if I were to say yes. T Smooth, what's up with you, man? Thank you for tapping in. Yeah, he didn't have too many weapons. But just from his raw numbers, he did not put up he was not spectacular, but he did just enough, for the Dallas Cowboys to win. They play complimentary football, and I'm also be honest with you. Okay, Carfax, go to my SWAS Take Sports. You damn right I'm a Cowboys fan. I've been watching West Coast Cowboys since 2016. Okay. So yeah. That's the big cousin right there, man. So I'm definitely gonna go take a look at your stuff then, my guy. I'm definitely gonna take a look at your stuff then. I said, Joe, you didn't have hardly nothing, but he did keep us afloat. Yeah, he made a couple of good plays. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Cooper Rush is incompetent. He is a competent backup quarterback. The question should not be, though, is he a competent backup quarterback? The question should be, can we improve at the backup quarterback position? Because when you look around our division, there are other teams that did do just that. The Philadelphia Eagles had Gardner Minshew. Right? He did not win a singular game for them. He did not fit their style of offense. Right? He did not fit their style of offense. So what they went and did is they went and got Marcus Mariota, who plays similarly to Jalen Hurts. They went and got a mobile running quarterback that can operate in the RPO offense, that can operate in play action. So if something were to happen to Jalen Hurts, right, because he ran the ball, ran the ball about 11 times a game last year, right? If something were to happen to Jalen Hurts, they would have a quarterback on the roster who they could plug and play. They do not have to change the offensive plays or anything. So they did that. That's exactly what they did. Yeah, I'm gonna check you out too. You says. Like I said, I'm gonna go do my homework on you. Check out some of your content. bare minimum, I'm gonna give you a subscribe because I do like supporting all the Cowboys content creators. If you got an aspiration to do it, I would never hate you out. There's enough room in this space for everybody. Yeah, like you said, that was a smart move by the Sheagles, and that's something that I've been campaigning for the Dallas Cowboys to do as well. So I'm not saying that Cooper Rush is not an efficient. It's not. So I saw your facial expression when West Coast suggested the Eagles start Minshew over Hurts. Hey, I will say this. I understand why he said it. I understand why he said it, but because Gardner Minshew in the game that he played against the Dallas Cowboys, they did score more points. He did throw for more yards. He did throw for more touchdowns than what Jalen Hurts did, right? But he put the ball in harm's way. He had turnovers, and they weren't really comfortable, running that style of offense with him, right? So two things can be true. Bet we'll chop it up. We'll chop it up. You says so. I understand exactly his train of thought, but I also understand the Eagles' train of thought, right? Even though Gardner Minshew was a better passer than Jalen Hurts, like raw passer. I'm not talking about off of play action. Like better pocket passer would be Gardner Minshew. That's how he got drafted. That's how he got drafted. Being in an air raid style system. Having nice statistics in college and whatever. So I do understand his mindset and why he said that Gardner Minshew, was more productive. Was because he was in terms of just raw passing, but we saw the turnovers. We saw their inability to score the very next week. They weren't comfortable with it, and that's the same thing with us, right? I want us to have a quarterback that's like a diet Dak Prescott. I want our backup quarterback to be a diet. He would probably fit good over here. Well, I will say this. I'm gonna segue slightly. The going rate for a wide receiver of his ilk, all pro wide receiver, is $25 to $35 million. Well, really, it's 25 to 30, right? Because you pay him $35 million, you're resetting the market entirely, right? I think the only wide receiver making $30 million right now is Tyreek Hill. So between 25 and 30, is a nice price range, which is pretty much the market right now. But I will say this: because the Dallas Cowboys currently have $20 million in cap space, because they can clear anywhere between $26.2 and $30 million, by extending Dak Prescott, because they can make more cap room by cutting guys like Michael Gallup next year if he doesn't pan out this season, they are not strapped for cash. Theoretically, the Dallas Cowboys can clear enough cap space to re-sign every player that they want to, and then some. So I'm not really concerned about the overall ticket price on these players because the salary cap is basically like an imaginary friend. It's not really real. You can manipulate that however you want to. So, the question is, if you let CeeDee Lamb walk, who do you replace him with? Because odds are you would not be bad enough, right? We're expecting to compete for a title, right? We're expecting to compete for a title next year. So odds are we'll be a playoff team. Odds are we'll be picking at the back end of the draft next year. At the bare minimum, we're going to make the playoffs. You're not going to get a wide receiver to really replace an all-pro year one in the back half of the draft. Then, I really want the Dallas Cowboys to focus on rebuilding the offensive line, over time. So this season coming up, I don't care who's available. I really want the Dallas Cowboys to start rebuilding the offensive line. So, when Tyrus Smith, who is getting older, already been missing a lot of games, goes down, you can let Tyler Smith take over that role, right? So you can either go draft you a tackle, this season coming up, or you can draft you a guard to take over full time for where Tyler Smith is. You're going to eventually need a right guard to replace Zach Martin, who's getting older. So the Dallas Cowboys need to be thinking about rebuilding the offensive line right now. So I don't really want them to let all pro skill position guys, walk, and then try to find a replacement in the draft. So this is a quick segue. But I do think we'll have good. We could have a good back and forth about that, especially if there's a lot of things that we disagree on. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be a nice little dynamic. Like I said, I'll check the channel out though. They said CD is a top wide receiver. He definitely deserves to get paid. Yeah, I agree. Especially since you're the Dallas Cowboys. And listen, and I also think a lot of the people were expecting the Dallas Cowboys to get a running back way higher in the draft than they did. Right, they were one of the deepest running back drafts in the last 10 seasons. Like for real, this is like one of the deepest running back drafts in the last 10 years. There was talent everywhere. Or there was talent at running back everywhere. I know people know about the big names like Bijan Robinson, right? But it was real deep. You had guys like Spears and Charbonnet and Tank Bigsby and all these other different guys, right? I was a fan of Eric Gray, right? So there was a very deep running back class. And the Dallas Cowboys, and even though I like Deuce Vaughn, they waited all the way to the super late round to get a running back. So I think part of the fan base that thought they could replace Zeke also thought the Dallas Cowboys would address running back way earlier than they did. Because I remember mock drafts. Most of them guys had the Cowboys taking a running back by at least the third round. They waited 3 rounds. Right? They waited 3 rounds later than that and brought a running back in. So and they brought in an undersized running back at that. Not saying that Deuce Vaughn won't be a good player eventually, but I think a lot of people thought the Dallas Cowboys would put more stock, Yeah, I thought the Dallas Cowboys will put more stock, into improving the running back position in the draft, and they did not. So you definitely could have just kept Ezekiel Elliott for what you did. I'm just being honest with you. Yo, what up with your common sense, lad? Thank you for tapping in and showing love. Willie T, we did not get a power runner. No, I just think Kellen Moore just didn't give Ezekiel Elliott the ball like he was supposed to. I just think Kellen Moore didn't utilize Ezekiel Elliott. There's only thing he didn't do. Because Ezekiel Elliott has not had a 25 carry game since 2019. Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. If you're trying to go to Super Bowl, there's no time for a rebuild, which is exactly why you don't let your star players walk. But I get a little sidetracked sometimes. Just back to the backup quarterback position, like we were talking about. The backup quarterback, in my opinion, should definitely look like a watered down version of Dak Prescott. This should definitely be a guy who can still run RPO, can still run bootlegs, they can get outside the pocket and create plays. There should definitely be, a guy that plays similarly to Dak Prescott. Now, of course, we know that the backup won't be better than Dak. They probably won't be as accurate, probably won't have as good a control of the offense as Prescott, but you will be able to still run the same plays. Yeah, so you can probably still run the same plays. So that's why I'm really looking forward to the Dallas Cowboys possibly adding a quarterback. Because think about this. If they add this mobile quarterback, first and foremost, win for us is a stretch like a mug. Right? Because we're not going to sit here and act like quarterback wins is a stat. Completion percentage, turnover worthy plays, things like that are quarterback stats. He was not good in that aspect. And secondly, I gave him his flowers for what he did to help us. But this is always about improving a team. So if I can improve at a position, I will. So Cooper Rush, like I said, he played admirably for us. He helped us. But at the same time, we had to completely revamp our offense for Cooper Rush. Our offense was like, did I say turnover? I just sit here and said turnover worthy play. You should look up the stat and see what that means. Just because you do not get the turn, just because a team drops the ball, does not get the turnover, does not mean he was not putting the ball in harm's way. Or should I show you? I think I'll just show you. Because I ain't going to sit here and take up too much time arguing back and forth with y'all. Mm-hmm. Don't even trip. I got you. By position, quarterback, passing grades. Regular season. Minimum dropbacks, 20%. Okay. Now I'm going to share the screen. Bet, do that, my guy. Okay. Oops, wrong one. That's not the one. This is the other tab right here. Passing grades. Here we go. So if you look at passing grades and you look at turnover worthy play percentage, which is this tab right here, this is the percentage of turnover worthy plays, by a quarterback. So by Cooper Rush was third in the NFL in turnover worthy play percent, which was at 4.4. The only two quarterbacks who had a higher turnover worthy play percentage were Taylor Heineke and Zach Wilson. So while Cooper Rush only had those turnovers in one game, like I said, just because he threw the ball directly to a defender and they dropped it, or he threw an interception that was turned over by a penalty, does not mean it didn't happen, right? So, I'm not saying, that Cooper Rush is a bad backup quarterback. I said that he is a suitable backup. But I'm not going to sit here and act like you can't get better than Cooper Rush. I'm not. I'm not going to sit here and act like you can't get better than Cooper Rush. Because one, when Cooper Rush was your offense, was your starting quarterback, you were the 26th ranked offense in the National Football League. He completed under 60% of his passes. He was third in the league in turnover worthy play percentage. He only threw 5 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Right? So, you can improve over Cooper Rush. You can improve over Cooper Rush. I'm not going to sit here, and act like he is backup quarterback Jesus. He's not. Now, am I saying to walk him out the door without a backup plan? No. What I am saying is you should be open to the prospect of bringing in a mobile quarterback to either A, take over for Will Grier, and B, push Cooper Rush, or B, push Cooper Rush, for that quarterback 2 spot. And either way, it's a win-win. Because I'm going to tell you what the two scenarios play out as. If you bring a backup quarterback in here that is, and like it can be somebody that compete in training camp. If you bring in another mobile quarterback and you let them compete during preseason and training camp, there's going to be a couple of outcomes. Either A, They beat out Cooper Rush for the backup quarterback position, and you kick Will Grier off a cliff. Right, that completely changes your quarterback room. Because then you have Dak Prescott, you have the new backup quarterback, and then your third string quarterback will be Cooper Rush, who was better than Will Grier, right? He said, "Who all out there?" Let's take a look. And Zay, I love, you know, that you came back with a realistic question. I like that. That's actual football talk. So, I like this exchange between us because I brought up a complaint, and then you asked me what will actually be a suitable guy for that. So I do appreciate the train of thought that you're taking the conversation to, my brother. So let's actually take a look. We got all the time in the world. Let's see if we can pull up who are some quarterbacks that are out there on the free agent market. So let me get it pulled up. The Dallas Cowboys always do something crazy, kinfolk. Dallas Cowboys chose not to draft a quarterback. They chose not to bring in, a free agent quarterback either. So they stood pat. Matter of fact, they re-signed Cooper Rush. But we'll see. Let me see who the free agent quarterbacks are. Okay. So I'm going to ask y'all a real simple question. Would y'all take Teddy Bridgewater or Cooper Rush? Now, neither one is as good as Dak Prescott, but who right now is a better player? Is Teddy Bridgewater or Cooper Rush? Who would you take as your backup quarterback? With our offensive line and our weapons, who do you think would be more productive? Terry Bridgewater or Cooper Rush? I got a Teddy Bridgewater from Tommy Montoya. The original people said Cooper Rush over Teddy Bridgewater. Bruce got the top of the juice, says Bridgewater. He said Teddy always injured. Okay, well, I'm going to say this, though. Teddy Bridgewater is healthy right now. He's completely healthy right now. So a healthy Teddy Bridgewater, because he's healthy right now. And you also got to remember, the Dallas Cowboys have a track record of keeping injury-prone players healthy. Malik Hooker is an injury-prone player, and he has not missed a single game, since he's been a Dallas Cowboy, right? And that's what I'm saying. Teddy Bridgewater might not even make the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can still cut Teddy Bridgewater. You got 2 free open roster spots. That's what I like right there. Because look, you could bring him in for a veteran minimum. He is sitting at home, watching his favorite podcast like we doing. He's sitting at home watching podcasts too, chilling. You know what I'm saying? You bring him in for a veteran minimum, let him compete. At the end of the day, even if he can't beat out Cooper Rush, I know for damn sure he can beat out Will Grier. And and that's the beautiful thing about bringing in another quarterback. Because let's say Cooper Rush beats out Teddy Bridgewater, but Teddy Bridgewater beats out Will Grier. Let's say something crazy happens, right? Because I never wish injury on anybody, but let's say both Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush have to leave the same game with a concussion. So would you feel more confident running Will Grier out there, or would you feel more confident running Teddy Bridgewater out there? Right? Because like Teddy Bridgewater could be your emergency quarterback instead of Will Grier. Because even if he can't beat out Cooper Rush, right? Because some of y'all, I understand Cooper Rush did what he did. But let's say I know for a fact that Teddy Bridgewater will beat out Will Greer. And I feel like, Cooper Rush will play better knowing that there's another viable option behind him. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just something that's just something to think about. Because player acquisition is 24/7, 365. You can always look to try and improve any position. I love Dak Prescott. He's my favorite player in the NFL. And that's hard to say as a grown ass man, right? But if Patrick Mahomes said he wants to come home to Texas, and they were willing to trade him straight up for Dak Prescott, and no, they could do they will do a player swap. They were willing to just give us Patrick Mahomes for Dak Prescott. I would do it because Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. He's a better player than Dak Prescott is. Love him, but if there's opportunities to surefirely improve any position, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? I would take Pat over Dak Prescott. I know that Pat is not available. You know what I'm saying? I know it's hard to find a quarterback available better than Dak Prescott. But, if the opportunity arose, I would do it. I am all for improving any position on my team. And that's fine. She said, I don't know about Teddy. I love him, but he stayed hurt. And that's the thing about having an extra quarterback spot. Even if Teddy, even if you feel more comfortable with Cooper Rush than Teddy Bridgewater, you cannot feel more confident in Will Greer over Teddy Bridgewater. See, it's not really a need. See, it's not a need until it is a need. You know what I'm saying? Food is not a need in your pantry until you don't have food. Right? You don't have to make as many grocery store runs if you keep a full pantry. Same thing with players. Just because you feel confident, in what you currently have, it does not mean you stop acquiring players. You know what I mean? Just because you're confident in a certain group, it does not mean you should stop actively improving that group. Because remember, we don't really use that train of thought with any other position group, do we? We picked up Brandon Cooks, we improved our wide receiving core, and people were still talking about getting DeAndre Hopkins. Am I right or wrong? Right. So that's not really a train of thought we carry with ourselves with any other position group. Because last time I checked, our fan base wants every wide receiver that breathes. So said, sorry, but I take Cooper right now. It's fine. I'm not taking Will Greer though. And that's the thing. Y'all thinking about only the backup quarterback position. You think about only the backup quarterback position. There are 3 quarterback positions. There's your starter, there's your backup, then there's your third stringer. And now every team has the option to carry a third quarterback because it does not cost them a roster spot. So I would take a quarterback room of Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, and Teddy Bridgewater over a quarterback room of Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, and Will Greer. So even if you feel like, man, Cooper Rush is my dude, he said, I'm not very confident about running backs or tight ends either. I don't blame you, Miss Green. Yeah, we ain't gonna lie. Those are probably more. That's probably more shaky than the running back and the quarterback room. We're being honest, right? Because at least we got a surefire starter at the quarterback position, and at least we have a backup that we seen we can win games with. Even if we have to alter our offense, we know for a fact we can still win games with Cooper Rush. So you might be right. We might need a better tight end room. You know what I'm saying? Because Jake Ferguson has never started. Schoonmaker, a lot of us were not happy with the draft. He said, hey, I appreciate you, man, for the super chat. My brother said, good talk, my guy. I got to get back to it. Y'all get them likes up and drop some super chats for my guy. I'm out, DC4L. Hey, I appreciate you, Zay. Thanks for the love and support, my guy. Said Teddy Bridgewater can't stay healthy for a whole season, and that's why he's not a starting quarterback anymore. But I'm not asking Teddy Bridgewater to play 17 games for me. If Teddy Bridgewater got to play, and listen, if anybody not named Dak Prescott has to play 17 games for me, I am screwed. I'm screwed. It could be Cooper Rush. It could be, it could be Carson Wentz. It could be Teddy Bridgewater. It could be Nick Foles. If anybody not named Dak Prescott, have to play 17 games for me, I'm screwed. Right? Like it's over with. But, I only need Teddy Bridgewater to play a game for me. I might only need Teddy Bridgewater to play 2 quarters for me. He might only have to come out there and play a second half of a game for me. Are you good? It is all good. And listen, the beautiful thing about these conversations is it's all just perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have to always agree about player acquisition, personnel, or anything. But we're having a intelligent conversation, based on statistics, based on the track record of a player and all that, right? Because your argument is still valid. Teddy Bridgewater is a very injury-prone quarterback. He has not stayed healthy in a very long time. That is always valid, when you're talking about acquiring a player. So you did not say anything wrong, Mickey. You know what I mean? Your argument is valid. He does have an injury track record. But the way I'm looking at it is I shouldn't have to rely on him for a prolonged period of time. I'm expecting Dak Prescott to play at least 15 games. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting him to play at least 15 games. 16 more than likely. Because I expect him to stay healthy, and I expect us to wrap the division up to where we ain't got to play the very last game of the season. So, outside of injury, I'm expecting Dak Prescott to be healthy. Right. But, I just want to fortify, that position just in case something does happen. He had a freak injury last year, broke his thumb, missed 5 games. So, in those 5 games that Dak Prescott missed, we were not a very good offense. We leaned heavily on the defense, leaned heavily on the running game. Because Ezekiel Elliott is not here, because we have questions at the backup running back position, you're going to need probably, if Dak Prescott was to miss a certain amount of time this year, you probably need better quarterback play to get by. So, that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about it in this manner. But again, we can find a happy medium. Even if you want Cooper Rush to keep the primary backup job, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? He might be able to beat out Teddy Bridgewater. You never know how the training camp things go. But I know for a fact, because you're going 3 quarterbacks deep, Teddy Bridgewater better than Will Grier. So even if you just wanted to upgrade over Will Grier, Teddy Bridgewater is a better backup quarterback than Will Grier. Because at least Teddy Bridgewater, has shown that he can win a start. He's shown that he still has starter traits. He can still make NFL level throws. You know what I'm saying? Like he has. And listen, we lost to Teddy Bridgewater like twice in the last couple of seasons. We lost to Teddy Bridgewater when he was the starter for the Saints in 2019. We lost to Teddy Bridgewater when he was starting for the Denver Broncos in 2021. So we've seen up close and personal that Teddy Bridgewater can make NFL throws, not throw the game away. And when he has adequate offensive personnel around him, he can win games. So what Cowboys game have I been to? My first and only game, because I'm a cheap mother. My first and only game was the 2021 home opener against the Philadelphia Eagles. We beat them boys by 20 points. So it was a great experience for me. But that is the only game that I've been to. Now I'm going to some games this year. But so far I've only been to one active NFL game. And because I became a content creator, like it's sort of my obligation to go, to more games to bring y'all more, quality content. It was a real good season. Yes, indeed. But I never actually showed y'all the free agent quarterback list. So let me screen share that with y'all real quick. Boy, you crazy, Swain. Swain, what? Oh man. I'm very intrigued by it. Like the rivalry with the Niners was really bigger than our Super Bowl runs. Cause a lot of people be forgetting the Dallas Cowboys were favored in every Super Bowl they played in. We were head and shoulders the better team every time. So, like the rivalry, the rivalry with the 49ers was really to determine the Super Bowl winner. We had a tougher time against the 49ers than we did in any Super Bowl game we played against. We outclassed the we outclassed the Bills both times. We were much better than the Steelers when we played them. So, the rivalry against the 49ers, was the end all be all. So I am intrigued that we've been playing them these past 2 seasons, but it's not really a Dallas Cowboys 49er rivalry until one of us breaks through and win the Super Bowl again. Because back in the day, when we went to the Super Bowl, we won. When the 49ers went to the Super Bowl, they won. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really back to form until either the 49ers or the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. I mean, I hate the Niners, but I do respect them as a franchise. You know what I'm saying? I do respect the 49ers as a franchise. I respect them a lot more than the Eagles. Like they're more of a rival in my eyes than the Philadelphia Eagles are. Like the Philadelphia Eagles talk the most shit. They say these random disrespectful things, but I think the 49ers are our biggest rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Like the Philadelphia Eagles are like our little sisters. They like our little sisters. They the little sisters of the NFC East. You know what I'm saying? They got one championship in 60 plus years. They're the only team in the division that has a losing record in the Super Bowl. If I'm not mistaken, they're the only team in the division, that lost that many NFC championship games. So the Eagles are like our little sisters. You know what I'm saying? They ain't really rivals. I look at them like I look at the Saints. They're horrible history. Horrible history, wearing bags to games and shit. You know what I'm saying? They don't have like a story history like the Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers do. Granted, I hate them, but I agree with you on that. Like the 49ers are more of a rivalry to the Dallas Cowboys than the Eagles. Because keep it real, the Eagles don't even beat us. The Eagles in this day and age do not even beat the Dallas Cowboys when we're healthy. They ain't beat Dak Prescott since 2019. They ain't won a game in Dallas since 2017. That's not a rival. He said he hate the whiners with a passion. Yeah. I say don't ever get it twisted. I hate the mugs. I respect them, but you can respect somebody and hate the hell out of them at the same time. I mean, they just sent us home 2 years in a row. So even for the people that weren't alive to see the original rivalry back in the day, it should be enough that they've been in our way from going to the NFC Championship game. We could have went to the NFC Championship game for the first time in 30 years had we just beaten the 49ers. I mean, the Packers got our number. Or Aaron Rodgers has our number, but the Packers are going to be a mediocre team for quite some time. He said Dak is their daddy. Yeah, he their daddy. Not they stepdaddy either. He their daddy. They got to get this man a Father Day gift. So, but yeah, these are the free agent quarterbacks right now. Oh my god. This 49 got my boy beef with the whole family. Oh my god, boy. That's tragic, man. Yo, what's up with you, Miss Patrice? Thank you for sliding through and showing love. So these are the only available free agent quarterbacks. Really don't even list Tom Brady. He already said he's retiring. Matt Ryan is retiring. Joe Flacco don't fit. If I'm not mistaken, Chase Daniels retired as well. So you look at the guys left. Bryce Perkins is somebody the Dallas Cowboys actually brought in and worked out. But when they brought in Tyron Johnson and they signed him to the practice squad, they also brought in Bryce Perkins. Bryce Perkins was a backup quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. He was on the team when they won their Super Bowl. He only played one NFL game. He said, "You know I'm from North California." Yeah, man. Hey, that's rough. That's rough as hell. Now, see, the beautiful thing about it, I live in Texas. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a lion's share of the people I run into are Dallas Cowboys fans. You know, back home, it's split because we're so close to Louisiana. There's a lot of Saints fans, and then majority of other people are Dallas Cowboys fans. So, I really get into it, just because geographically, I really get into it more up here with people I know that are Saints fans and stuff. Just because where I'm from is only like 15 minutes away from Louisiana. So, I argue with a bunch of Saints fans, up here. Of course, you got your Cowboys haters along with your Cowboys loyalists. So, but, just keep an eye out on Bryce Perkins. He's somebody they already seen up close and personal. He has NFL experience. He's 1-0 as a starter. He is a mobile quarterback. He's limited as a passer. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like he is up to par as a passer, but he is a great athlete. He can run RPO. He can run play action. He is a great prospect to bring in and develop. As a long term solution as a backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Teddy Bridgewater will be a plug and play kind of guy because he's already 30. But Bryce Perkins only 26 years old. He theoretically could be your backup quarterback for the next 5-7 years. If you wanted to bring him in, he theoretically could be your backup quarterback. For however long you want to keep him on the roster. Not saying that he's up to par right now, but he's a young guy. He could take up that backup spot that Will Greer is holding. I think he could beat out Will Greer. My boy Bruce said he is from the Metroplex, living in East Texas, and he still beef with the Saints and Texans fans, man. It be like that, man. It be like that sometimes. It definitely be like that sometimes. He said, I know like 3 Shiggles fans and 3 Deadskins fans, 5 New York Giant fans out here. Well, yeah, I don't really know too many New York Giants fans. Like, for me, Giants and you know Washington fans really just exist on the internet. I don't see them. Like, I don't see them. There's not a fan base that is overreaching. I know, a lot of Cowboys fans that live in the DC area. I know a lot of of New York of Cowboys fans that live in New York area, but it's not the same, vice versa. I even know a lot of Cowboys fans that live in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? So, but you're just judging by this list. The only guys you can really feel, you know, fit into what the Dallas Cowboys want to do schematically would be Teddy Bridgewater and Bryce Perkins. And since a majority of you agree, a majority of y'all think that a majority of y'all think that Cooper Rush should stay the backup quarterback, and that's fine. Even if you bring in Bryce Perkins and swap him out for Will Greer, I'm cool with that. but you're still addressing the quarterback room. You're still improving the quarterback room. You're not, going to a full upheaval. So either way, as long as you upgrade over Will Greer, I will back down. But what are y'all personal thoughts, man? This is the Q&A section of the show, so y'all can go out here, man, and put your questions in the chat box for me to answer. But we got plenty of time. I ain't seen y'all in a while, so that's why the show was running a little longer. I want to make sure that we chop it up a little bit, before I leave from out here. Yo, DC for Life, Texas, what's up with you, man? Brian Kite, what's up with you, man? Salute to you. Hey, y'all both missed it because I did it like when the show first started, like an hour and 30 ago. But I did the raffle updates. DC for Life, Texas, you got 9 raffle entries. So salute to you. Brian Kite, you're $5 away from getting a full raffle entry. But salute to you, my guy. So go ahead and put your questions in the chat box. But before I do that, I'm going to take a minor bathroom break. I'm gonna run to the restroom and come right back. But before I leave, let me leave you, with a video. Let me make sure I play the right video. I like playing y'all that video of the Eagles content creators crying about Dak Prescott having their number. So I'm going to play that first, and then I'll be back to answer your questions. Let me see. Did I click on it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Dallas is tough too. Dak always kills us. So if he's healthy for week. Dak always kills us. So
yeah, that fucker, he always does it too. Yeah.
Week 9 against Dallas, 4:25 p.m. We got, if we have Hurts and they have Dak, it would only be their second time playing against each other. In the first game, Hurts got beat pretty bad. 2021, we lost pretty bad against them when Dak and Hurts both played. And then last year, obviously, we had the backup, so didn't happen. That's going to be a tough. I mean, that's like getting a big it's getting a big time weight off our shoulders. Like if we could just beat that team with Dak, I just feel so good about that. Because to be honest, we haven't done it in forever. Since 2019, they haven't beat the Cowboys with Dak Prescott. And we all talk about how he's mediocre and all this, but plays well against us. So we got to go out there and I think we got to go out there and win. He's healthy for week.
Yeah.
All right. Your boy is back. Luckily, he was just in the next room. Yo, what's up with you, Fiero boy 86? Thank you for tapping in and showing love. Say, am I going to Oxnard? The way that my stuff is set up right now, no. I will be going to at least the preseason closer. I'll be going to the last preseason game. But as everything is set up right now, I will not be able to make it to Oxnard. I do not have the requisite time, PTO, to take off for Oxnard. But I will be going to games this year. I will be going to the preseason. He said, I smell the stink coming off the screen. Yeah, they horrible. Yeah, they're horrified of Dak Prescott, man. They look at Dak Prescott like the boogeyman. They look at Dak Prescott like the boogeyman. Because, remember, they said they always try and clown him and say that he is average and this and that, and they can't even beat that boy. They up here on camera, speaking from their heart, saying just how much it would mean, if they could just beat Dak Prescott one time. If they could just beat Dak Prescott, it would mean so much to beat Dak Prescott. Hey, they kept it. They kept it 1,000 for real though. They definitely. My boy said he didn't know we were live. He said he was trying to work on his lawnmower. Hey, it's Sunday, man. You were doing the right thing. You were doing the right thing. But yeah, I had to go live and show y'all some love, my brother. I've been away from y'all for a while. He said, me too. Hopefully trying to get tickets to that Jets game. Okay. All right. My brother Raymond said he got him a Michael Parsons, New Jersey. Salute to you, my guy. I'm glad. I'm glad you were able to get one. So now it is time to enter the Q&A, section of the show. So if you have questions, your boy Henny should have answers. So just go ahead and drop them in the chat box, and we'll rock out like that, man. Like I said, we got all the time in the world. So anybody that's late coming in here, we're still gonna rock for a little while. Right. And I like saying this. If Dak Prescott is trash and you can't beat him, that makes you guard. Yeah, that makes you the little juice at the bottom of the dumpster. Skeptical Cowboy fan, you said it's Damone Clark birthday. Well, hey, everybody, let's take a real quick moment to wish Damone Clark, a happy birthday, man. So happy birthday to Damone Clark. I pray that you enjoy your birthday, my brother. And I also pray nothing but prosperity and good things for you in this upcoming season, my man. How do I feel about the run defense? Because the Dallas Cowboys were able to keep Jonathan Hankins, because they went and got Mozzie Smith, I feel great about the run defense, at least going into the season. They actively try to improve the defensive tackle room because, stopping the run starts up front, right? Because stopping the run starts up front, it does, require good defensive tackle play. It requires your defensive tackles eating up space, not allowing the offensive guards or the center to get up to the second level onto your linebackers. So because you were able to bring back Jonathan Hankins, who the Dallas Cowboys were almost an entire yard better against the run when he was on the field, because they got the best run stopping defensive tackle in the draft this year, you should feel great about your defensive tackle room, and therefore you should feel great about your run stopping ability. And you also got to factor in the fact that Big Quinn Bohannon is going to be in the third year of his development. You usually take about 3 years for defensive tackles to fully develop, so he should be better, right? And because your defensive tackle room is better, your linebacking core should play better because they should have more space and more room to get to the backfield and attack these running backs. So I feel much better about the running back room. And listen, the Eagles were only like, the Eagles, they had their best team assembled, and they couldn't beat Dak Prescott still. I know that, they did not have Jalen Hurts, but, Dak Prescott has already beaten Jalen Hurts, beat him by 20 points when they played. So, I'm not sure, how well, or how much, that would have made a difference. Hey, congrats. Hey, happy early birthday, DC for Life, Texas, man. 6 days to my boy birthday, man. So you were born on the 8th. You were born on the 8th of July. Well, make sure you come on the show Saturday so we can wish you a happy birthday, man. Yeah, so make sure you come on the show next Saturday so I can wish you a happy birthday, my guy. All right, Jameson Taylor said his birthday is in March. Mine is in April. April 22nd. So yes, I am hard-headed. I am a bull. I am a Taurus. Well, yeah, go ahead and drop y'all question in the chat box, man. What other Dallas Cowboys related questions y'all got for your boy? Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go. What else y'all got for me, man? And it can be any question. It can be schematic. It can be personnel. It can be. Oh, it's still all good. How many reps on the B on Thebe? What's the what? I don't understand the question, my brother. Florida Cowboy. What's my prediction for the division? I still think that we will have a very solid division this year. You know, I think the Dallas Cowboys win a division though. As you know, it's sort of like goes in spurts because we know there had not been back to back winners in the NFC East since like 2005, 2006 when the Eagles did it. So I see the Dallas Cowboys. I actually think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win about 13 to 14 games. I think we have a better team than we did last year. We have a weaker schedule than we did last year. So I think the Dallas Cowboys will be able, to go out there and win about 13, 14 games and win a division. Based on our improvement, based on some of the lapses in the Eagles personnel, just based on a couple of different things, man. Neil, what's up, my serial slapping friend? He said he done slapped 8 Eagles fans before he checked in, man. That's why I be calling that man the serial slapper. He done slapped up 8 Eagles fans. All right, my brother said, and this is my boy Klebo. Klebo said, "What up, HTM? Who you think leads the team in picks?" That is a very good question. Most people would say Trayvon Diggs, but because the Dallas Cowboys, he said how many reps he get. I'll answer that question next. But because the Dallas Cowboys have talent at every cornerback position now, because you got a great coverage guy in Gilmore, and you got 2 ball hawking cornerbacks in the run Bland and Diggs, it's hard for me to say. You really don't have an out in where you want to throw the ball to. History would say it would be Trayvon Diggs. I think Trayvon Diggs gets at least 7 interceptions this year. I don't think he'll get double digits again, just based on teams' unwillingness to throw him the ball. But I think he'll get about 7 interceptions this season, lead our team in interceptions. So I think my money is going to be on Trayvon Diggs because there will be times where teams feel more comfortable throwing at him, just because he gambles, just because he's going to present an opportunity. Thank you, DP Johnson. They said that Mozzie did 35 reps. And if I'm not mistaken, he did 35 reps of 325. There's nothing wrong in feeling that we'll go 15-2. We got a great team. Like we got one of the best. We got one of the best defenses. We got one of the better quarterbacks. We got one of the better offensive personnel in terms of wide receiving core. We got a Super Bowl winning play caller. You got a Pro Bowl running back. You know, you should have an improved offensive line play if Tyron Swift stays healthy. So you should have a good team. You should have an overall good team. There should be no reason for you not to win 13 games, 12 games. So yeah, Mozzie did 25 reps of 325. So thank you for answering that question for my brother because I didn't get an opportunity to pull it up just yet. But yes, that is correct. 325. He did 25 reps. He was a monster. Like he's a weight room warrior, man. Look at Mozzie Smith. Like he is 330 pounds of muscle. Like he is a different kind of he's a different kind of athlete. He said, who is going to be in charge? Yeah, that is ridiculous strength. He said, who is going to be in charge of defending against other teams' number one wide receiver, Diggs or Gilmore? It's going to be a case by case, basis. I think it'll be dependent on the matchup. If you have if you want your best coverage guy, because Stephon Gilmore is your best coverage guy, but he's lost a step. So as long as the number one wide receiver is not a burner, you can put Stephon Gilmore on him. But if their number one receiver is a little bit faster, let's say it's Terry, let's say it's Scary Terry. You want to put Trayvon Diggs on Scary Terry, right? If you play the Eagles, you probably want to put Stephon Gilmore on AJ Brown because he's not as fast as Devontae Smith. I think Devontae Smith's speed is something that might give Stephon Gilmore a little trouble. But Trayvon Diggs has shown he can keep up with Devontae Smith over the course of the years. So I would put Diggs on Devontae Smith and let Gilmore try and handle AJ Brown. Right, because even though he's not slow or anything, like I'm not saying these guys are slow, but Devontae Smith a 4-3 guy. Yeah, so I think it's going to be determined on the matchup. I think they'll be. I think it'll be dependent on the matchup and how they feel about it going in week to week. Philly, what's up with you, my guy? Thank you for tapping in and showing love. Oh, for our squad, that's easy. Mozzie Smith, because Mozzie Smith's going to play more than everybody. So Mozzie Smith's going to be your defensive rookie. That's going to be the standout on the team. Offensive rookie. Let's see. It'll probably by default be Schoonmaker, because Schoonmaker is the only offensive rookie that's going to get you're going to give that's guaranteed to get playing time. There's no guarantee that Deuce Vaughn gets playing time year one. Schoonmaker, you spend a second round pick on him. He'll probably be tight end too. So by default, Schoonmaker is going to probably be the rookie player, that takes off. And Big Benny Rich said, forget both of them guys. He said, put the run blend on the number one wide receiver. I dig it. And listen, you really can't go wrong. That's how deep you are at cornerback. You're deep at cornerback. So, like I said, it does not have to be etched in stone. Your cornerbacks are good enough so you can make an educated decision on who you feel more comfortable with lining up against who. It's as Neil and my boy Neil pointed out, we're like 5 deep at cornerback. You're at least 4 deep going with because Jordan Lewis right now is probably your 4th corner. And then when you factor in Izzy, if you think of Izzy as a cornerback, you're super deep. And then of course you got guys like Nation Wright on the team. They were speaking very highly of Kelvin Joseph, during the OTA. So you got talent. You got talent at the cornerback position. So it really just depends on who they feel comfortable with in these matchups. But you got probably the best big 3 at cornerback. I don't think any other team is as deep as us at the cornerback position. But what's some more questions though, man? Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I'll keep answering them, man. We're gonna rock out for a little bit longer before we call it a show. He said KJ would be a very pleasant and welcome surprise. I agree. No, I agree because you're already so deep at every other corner spot. If you get anything from Kelvin Joseph outside of special teams, you're batting 1,000. You're cooking with grease, whatever analogy or wordplay you want to use. You're in a real good spot. You're in a real good spot. Now, when you say breakout player, do they have to be a rookie? Do they have to be a rookie? So you're just saying like a breakout player. I think, I definitely think that somebody like Brandon Cooks that you just acquired is going to have a crazy season. I think he'll have close to 1,000 yards, if not more. So if you say breakout player, like I think like Brandon Cooks is somebody you look at. Think we may roll out Mozzie? Yes, they already been practicing that. So they've already had sets outside of just goal line where Mozzie Smith and Hankins are being played in tandem. So I think they're really trying to maximize, because listen, they stay small in the back end. That they brought in Overshown, who's probably like a year away from playing meaningful snaps. So they stay small in the back end. We know that they play a lot of big nickel. They're in big nickel 70% of the time. So I definitely think the Dallas Cowboys, are trying to do everything they can to improve their run defense. So keeping both of them on the field at the same time mitigates some of being small, at your linebacker spot. Yeah, hey, let's see if we can get some more people back in here, man. Yeah, we can match up. We can match up against the Chargers. They be talking. They be trying to egg the guys on. Now, I think Monty Smith is gonna probably get more rest than people are thinking they will. I would prefer Monty Smith and Hankins starting alongside each other, and then Quentin Bohannon, and those other guys being rotational. I hope Tyron plays better at left tackle. All these injuries could be making his play decline. Bosa was killing him in that playoff game. Any chance you think he doesn't start if still is healthy? No, because if you talk about playing your best five include Tyron Smith. Okay, they've been very adamant of starting your best five. Tyron Smith is one of your best linemen. So he should start at left tackle. Tyler Smith should start at left guard at the meantime because we don't really have a sufficient guard behind him just yet. Right, so that's what you want. You want your best five. He's including your best five. And, not only play your best five at their best positions. Don't play Tyron Smith at right tackle. He doesn't deserve to play right tackle. He's going to be a gold jacket at left tackle, so leave him there. If Terrence Steele can't go, put Walesko out there. Over on 30 touchdowns for Dak Prescott. They're probably going to throw the ball in the red zone more often. Because you don't have, a certified short yardage back. I can see the play action happening in the red zone more often. I actually can also see Dak Prescott getting a couple more rushing touchdowns in the red zone. So I'm over on 30 touchdowns because remember, Dak missed 5 games and still threw 23. He missed 5.5 games and still threw 23 touchdowns. So I expect him to throw at least 30. I actually got Dak Prescott throwing for about 40 touchdowns in this system. I'll take the over on 30 touchdowns for Dak Prescott. Because at the pace that he was on last year, because Dak Prescott threw 23 passing touchdowns in 12 games. Right, so Dak Prescott appeared in 12 games. So 23 touchdowns divided by 12. That's 1.91 a bunch of sixes. If you times that by 17, Dak Prescott would have threw 23 touchdowns last year. Well, 32 touchdowns last year. I actually think Dak Prescott gets about 4. So do the under on rushing touchdowns. Dak Prescott has not rushed for more than 3 rushing touchdowns since 2020. And that came in one game. So I will go, to be safe, go for the under. I can see him getting about 4 rushing touchdowns, but go for the under. Now, if he gets more than 5, I would be pleasantly surprised and happy. But, he hasn't done it in a long time. He hasn't had more than 5. He hasn't had that many rushing touchdowns since 2018. 2018 was the last time that he had more than 5 rushing touchdowns, and he had 6 then. So I would be the under for me. That's a real straightforward bet. What if Valesco plays well in training camp at left tackle and Tyron struggles? Don't know. That'd be a big leap of faith by the front office. Now, I'm also not expecting Tyron Smith to play a lot in training camp. Now, I do think he'll use his legs more. I think they'll involve him in the running game more. But you said over. Because remember, for the over to happen, he'll have to get 6 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, I think they're gonna bubble wrap Tyron Smith. I don't think Tyron Smith's gonna play in the preseason or anything. Yeah, I mean, if Valesco plays well, that's great. But as it is right now, I don't think that he'll get an opportunity to beat him out in training camp. Because I don't think you see a lot of Tyron Smith in training camp or preseason or anything. They said he's gonna ride around in the cart. How crazy. All right. I got time for a couple more questions before I depart. Cowboys fan 1972 believes Dak Prescott will use his legs way more. We'll see. A bit. And I also shout out to my brother DC for Life Texas. He said not DC for Life Texas, but it's too easy. My boy said he's watching. He just can't say much because he at work. But I appreciate the love, man. It's all good. I thank you for that. So which rookie? I think Mozzie Smith is going to be the rookie that's going to shine the most because he's going to get the most opportunities to make an impact on the game. More than the last system. Well, I definitely think, that Dak Prescott will have more opportunities to run the ball. I'm just not, as a betting man, as a guy who hedges his bets, right? Because if you were making a ticket and you said over under of 5 touchdowns, in order to get the over, he would have to get 6 rushing touchdowns. If he got only 5 rushing touchdowns, you still would lose. Right? Because that's not over 5, it's right at 5. So to get over, you have to get 6 rushing touchdowns. Now, if the bet was over under of 4 rushing touchdowns, there's a better opportunity for him to rush for 5 touchdowns than to get 6 rushing touchdowns. So if he said an over under of 4 rushing touchdowns, I would have probably gave a different answer. It is more feasible for him to get 5 rushing touchdowns this year than to get 6, just based on his age, based on all this other stuff, based on the last time he even had 3 rushing touchdowns. So I would feel more comfortable with saying over. I would be more comfortable taking it over on 4 rushing touchdowns. If we're building a ticket, I would be more comfortable, with taking it over on 4. Yeah. So you should want your quarterback to run. But hey, listen, I think situational runs with your quarterback is perfectly fine. Because remember, Jalen Hurts ended up with 15 rushing touchdowns, and majority of them was on little tush pushes. I'll take the over. West Coast system, I think will suit Michael Gallup just fine. I think you have about 705 receiving touchdowns. I mean receiving yards. So let's do the quick math. And this is remember, before you bet on Michael Gallup, you also have to remember Michael Gallup has not played a full season in several years. Right? So he would have to stay healthy for one. So 700 yards over the course of a 17-game season, it's only 41 yards a game. 41.17 yards a game, right? But Michael Gallup is going to have to stay healthy. So if you're building a ticket, right, let's say you're going to use this information to build a ticket, you still also have to factor in the fact that Michael Gallup has not shown that he can stay healthy recently. So if he stays healthy, right, we should phrase it like this. If he stays healthy, you can go to over on Michael Gallup for 700 yards. But if you factor in the fact that he has not been healthy the last couple of seasons, you might want to keep that off of your ticket. Because there's too many factors to go into that. There's too many factors to go into that. Because what if Jalen Tolbert beat Michael Gallup out for wide receiver 3 in training camp? What if Michael Gallup gets injured and can't play 17 games? So, I wouldn't put that on my ticket if we're building a ticket. And I might do that with y'all one day. I might just go through some prop bets with y'all and we can build some tickets. Part of what got me started, is sports gambling. Yeah, part of what got me started is sports betting. So over under of the interceptions he's going to throw. Yeah, Cook's going to take a lot of targets too, away from Michael Gallup. At least, listen, Justin Herbert's going to throw at least 10 interceptions. Go over. Matter of fact, Justin Herbert has thrown at least 10 interceptions every year, right? If I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he threw 10 last year. He threw 15 the year before. If I'm not mistaken, he threw. Let's see. Yeah, Justin Herbert has thrown at least 10 interceptions every year. So I'm going for the under. Listen, matter of fact, I'm going for the over. This man got Kellen Moore as his play caller. He got Kellen Moore as his play caller. This man finna throw the ball about 40 times a game. He's gonna throw over 10 interceptions. He's gonna throw over 10 interceptions. So yeah. I almost forgot who the hell his play caller was. Yeah, if it's 10 interceptions, it's over on it. If the prop bet is 10 interceptions for Justin Herbert, take the over. He's going to throw the ball a lot. When you throw the ball a lot, you're going to have interceptions. Oh, no doubt. I'm not saying anything bad about Justin Herbert. I think he's a good young quarterback, but Kellen Moore is his play caller. Kellen Moore is going to be his play caller, so he is going to throw interceptions. And we already know he's going to be subjected to an option route offense. They're going to run curls. comeback routes. They're gonna air the ball out. He got big wide receivers who we trust, so he's gonna put the ball in harm's way at times. He's gonna throw at least 10 interceptions or more. Yeah, he's gonna throw over 10 interceptions. Like if you're a gunslinger, you're just gonna throw 10 picks. He got a pass happy offensive coordinator. Yeah, so nah. Matter of fact, y'all knew the answer to that question before y'all even asked me. Justin Herbert throws interceptions already. He'll probably throw the ball more than he ever had with Kellen Moore, because Kellen Moore, then he got a big new toy in Justin Herbert. He's gonna throw the shit out the ball. If anything, if you play fantasy, well, you never know. I was gonna say like the running backs in for the Chargers are gonna get screwed, but they probably get some targets. Just by the pure amount that the ball gonna get thrown. But yeah, we should do that. We should probably put a ticket show together one day. Like we just go and make a ticket together, and see if we can hit. I mean, how the hell is from a dynamic? How was Kellen Moore supposed to correct Dak Prescott, and he was Dak Prescott's backup? That's why I'm happy that we got Brian Schottenheimer. That's why I'm happy that we got Mike McCarthy. They're going to make Dak Prescott be accountable for his decisions, for everything. At least two. At least two. All right, but listen, I can give y'all 2 hours of some premium Dallas Cowboys content, man. So I'm going to take a break for a while, eat, run some errands, do the things I need to do, and I will get at y'all a little bit later on today, man. But on the way out of the liquor store, hit that like button, hit that share button, and continue to hit that super chat, super stickers, and hit the cash app. Because if you sin still, you will be entered to win a Dallas Cowboy ticket. You will be entered to win the Dallas Cowboy ticket to see them beat the Eagles live and in person. So it's $10 per entry. So hit the cash app, hit the super stickers, hit the super chats, improve your odds of winning. And you still got until August the 1st to get the entries in, man. So if you want to go to the game, hit the cash app, hit the super sticker, hit the super chat. Or if you want to try and win that PlayStation 4 or the Dallas Cowboy jersey, do the same thing. But I do appreciate y'all for the love and the support that you've been showing, man. And I will do everything in my power to go live a little bit later on. So my wife don't get off until 7. So, I might be able to jump on here and do another show. So I'll tap in with y'all, man. Thank y'all for the support. And I'm going to get at y'all, man. Peace. God bless. And continue to slap them Eagles fans, man. I know you want that discount. But I'm going to